Hi and welcome to Snail Baby Tarot. Today I am doing a shadow work reading. It is intended to be quite a gentle one. We're looking into how to heal whatever part of you at this time may be feeling rejected, unloved, vulnerable, lost, or just unsupported in some way. This reading may be a little bit triggering. The intention is to be very gentle and to just take a very gentle, honest look on whatever needs healing. But a lot of times these types of readings can stir up a lot of feelings of defensiveness, shame, or sadness. So if you don't feel like this is the type of reading for you, that's fine. That being said, we are just going to sort of really look into this with the intention of finding healing messages. I'm going to be focusing a lot on oracle cards, and I just want to kind of take a look under the hood. The consciousness is a big, vast, confusing pool that we draw from, and we're really only aware of a fraction of our own psychic energy, really. What we think of as the unconscious is oftentimes what is only semi-conscious, and then what's unconscious is kind of it's a vast territory. So we're just going to take a little peek into like what part of your energy field you can really put your attention and love into in order to heal a little bit. I intuitively drew 3 cards for the groups. They are victim, mentor, and dilettante. Obviously those words are all have very strong connotations, some strongly negative and some strongly positive. So I'm also going to let you look at the cards up close and read the words on them. I'd really encourage you to look at the imagery and really see what resonates with you rather than focusing on the words. But if you are someone like me who's very verbally oriented, it might help to also listen to the phrases and see if anything really pings anything in your consciousness. This is group 1. The light attribute we have here is prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. And this shadow attribute is playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity or inability to maintain personal boundaries. The image is actually very beautiful though. There's a really sweet, soft energy there. Group 2, we have the light attribute of passing on wisdom and refining a student's character, and the shadow attribute of inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master or imparting false instruction. Again, there's a really tender energy to this image. I really like the image a lot, actually. And then group 3 happens to be my personal favorite word. We have the light attributes being delights in the arts without having to be professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. The shadow attribute is pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. And I do love that image as well. It's really cool. So if you have an intuitive way of tuning in and picking a group, go ahead and do that now. You can pause the video, take all the time you need in the world, take a couple days if you want to. This is for you, you choose. If not, go ahead and meet me in the reading. Hiya and welcome if you chose group 1, this victim card. It's interesting because the word victim obviously has very negative connotations, and it's not really a word we tend to want to identify with, especially in our very modern, strength-oriented culture. Nobody really wants to use this word to describe themselves. But I feel like the imagery on the card is I feel relatable. I feel like we've all been in this position where we just have a very soft, tender, vulnerable nature. So yeah, I'm excited to do your reading. In terms of what you need to heal, the kind of initial hit I get with your group is that this very much has to do with the types of relationships that you find yourself in. The victim is a very relational energy. Either it's about appealing others to help or salvation, or it's about finding yourself in relationships over and over again where you feel disempowered or you feel like the other person has the upper hand over you. To whatever extent. For some of you that this may manifest in a more extreme way. For some of you it's not going to be anything too heavy or dangerous. This is central headquarters, is your initial card. You are here. This is our jumping off point. Relationships, I'm seeing. So part of your healing journey, I feel that relationships are central to what you need to heal. I didn't see that flashed too fast. Yeah, I'm feeling that you're like a very intensely emotional person, and that you do tend to put all of your heart and soul into relationships, especially in situations where actually the best thing that you could do would be to step back and kind of relinquish control in the situation. It's kind of the feeling that I get with this. There's nothing you can do. I feel like you might be the type of person who really likes to merge with this yin-yang. I see you, yeah, like you're the type of person who, at least at some point in your life, very easily extended their hand out to others in a very open, unguarded, loving way. And that you are, the yin-yang symbol gives me a sense of merging of, you know, two opposites or two complementary equals coming together. That you really, really are strongly guided by your emotional, intuitive, and compassionate nature. It's like central to who you are, the way I feel like you do always want to give love and receive love in return. And I feel like this has in the past been the sort of central hub of your problems, of your challenges and blockages, is that there's kind of a lack of discernment with this hand energy. Like you offer this beautiful loving nature to people who aren't really properly able to reciprocate. I kind of have a feeling of like forcing things when it's the time is not right, or the person is not right, or there's just a sense of like with this saw, there's a sense of trying to force things instead of going with the flow. Like sometimes people show you very clearly who they are and what you're about, and we kind of choose not to acknowledge that, and we instead try to move forward and offer them something when we should actually pull back. And I'm seeing that either you've been like this in the past and you have kind of unresolved energy left over from that really needs to be healed. It's like there's just like a sadness that's still sort of residual and left over, or you're kind of in this phase right now where you're trying to reach out towards situations that are not really properly receptive to you. So can we have some more advice on healing? That's good. Okay. So Doll is telling me that you need to take a more active role in your life and how you shape your choices. A doll is essentially an inanimate object. It's a passive object. It's something that is acted upon or acted through. It doesn't have any agency of its own. This coming out with transformation is telling me that like either you're in this transformation stage where you were in situations where you were being very passive and accepting what was given to you, accepting other people's choices about how they wanted to treat you and what was it, and like, kind of like letting the relationship be determined by their standard, because you were just very much more focused on wanting to be in love or wanting to be giving or wanting to merge or nourish another person, and so it's kind of like their will ended up superseding yours. And so this transformation energy is kind of telling you to examine those situations, to kind of like, it's seeing like all the sort of disgusting mud down here, to kind of go into those feelings of disempowerment, or if you feel, especially, and I mean this very non-judgmentally, but if you feel like you were used or really disempowered, or someone really treated you like shit, to really look at the feelings that brings out in you, any shame or anger or, you know, sense of rejection or sadness, to really go through those feelings and examine them and work with those feelings in order to transform, because that's the keyword on this card, transformation. And I feel like that's where the healing happens, is you may be in a phase right now where you're like ready to be like independent and do your own thing and be like, oh, I'm done with that phase of my life, I'm not doing that anymore. But I feel like you can't just move on from that. You have to actually sit with the impact that those experiences had on you, especially if this doll is giving me the sense that this happened when you were younger, or that you're still quite young, you're still in development. And so there's this sense to kind of follow this narrative thread back to like its most nascent point, like the beginning, and kind of really sit with those feelings and examine them. It's a really, really, really uncomfortable image. Well, this image is very uncomfortable to look at, and I get a very uncomfortable energy. And I'm feeling this sense of self-protection of not wanting to open oneself up to really fully examine why we were in that situation and what that made us feel, and do that inner spiritual transformation work, especially because I feel like when you look at those experiences, you want to change them, you want to act differently, or you want to be angry with yourself or that person, but there is nothing you can do. There's a sense of just needing to sit with it and accept it. And instead of kind of trying to like offer your hand out to someone else, to a new person or a better person, to kind of offer that love and understanding to yourself instead. Because this person on this card looks like they're waiting for someone to offer them this love, this salvation. And instead it's like you need to offer, it's almost like you need to be your own angel and offer your hand to yourself. The call's kind of coming within, with this is central headquarters. There is no one here who can fix this or really solve this except for you. Like really no one is going to, there's this sense that no one is really coming to save you. And again, that's not a bad thing because you don't need that. And I feel like on a conscious level, you probably know that, but unconsciously, I just feel this unwillingness, especially because this person is closing their eyes and looking down. There's this unwillingness to really look at these feelings and see them and feel them and to process them, to allow yourself to feel this sense of betrayal or heartbreak or even humiliation in some cases. There's a sense that you were really, really done wrong and that you were passive in that situation, and that's not your fault at all. You didn't do anything wrong. It's not that you deserved it or you should have been more active. It's just that like in the moment you did not have the tools to properly deal with this situation. Like you did not have the boundaries, or you did not have the knowledge, you didn't have the tools. And so this doll isn't here to say like, oh, it was your fault for being too passive. This doll is just here to say that in this moment you didn't yet have that agency within yourself to act in a way that was properly protective, and that's absolutely not your fault. Nevertheless, as unfortunate as this is, we still need to process these feelings and really understand them and fully like look at them, because I feel like deep down there, for some of you, there may be a sense of blaming oneself, of being angry with oneself as well. Like underneath the other feelings, when you look really deep down, there's still a sense of self-blame a little bit. But like I feel like what I feel is just that like you, no matter like how old you were or how much experience you had in life, in this sense you were very unguarded, you were very unprotected in this situation, probably with this specific person, and there's really no fault there on your part. It's not that you should have known better or whatever. This was just, this was just it sounds so lame to say this is a learning experience, but like at the time, it's not that it was even a learning experience. At the time, you just were not fully emotionally equipped to protect yourself in this situation, and that is not a failing on your part. Like I feel like sometimes we have this idea in society that like the way we treat, and this might be too extreme an example, but the way we treat like victims of abuse is that we often act like being abused is something that's acceptable in a small, vulnerable child. But then sometimes there's this feeling that like people should know better once they reach a certain age or a certain level of life experience, and that's just not the truth. Like there's no expectation that you should have known better, or this shouldn't have happened to you, or you shouldn't have been taken advantage of in this situation. Like it's truly just, I don't know, I get like a strong sense of like your higher self or your guides just saying that they're very sorry that you went through this experience and that it was very painful, and that there's a need to really fully kind of with temperance sit with this experience and transmute it and help to transform this energy into something that's going to make you feel much more open and vibrant and loving, because you are a really loving person, and that's part of why this did happen, why the situation did manifest in your life, because you were wanting to give love, and unfortunately it was just not directed toward the best possible thing. That's kind of the energy I get. So I'm going to ask a little bit about your chakras, where exactly this healing needs to be the most for you, what part of your energy field. Sorry about that. We have like Spider-Man, Superman colors, so be your own hero kind of pops into my head. Those are like classic superhero colors. Finances and communication. This is really interesting. So this does kind of feel like a long-term relationship with finances being here. What I get most is just the sense of being self-sufficient instead of wanting someone to kind of take care of things for you. This may have been, when you were younger and like you wanted, just a sense of being cared for, someone looking out for you, someone helping you, and I just feel them like not either taking advantage in that situation or not really actually taking care of you in the way you wanted to be taken care of. With communication, I just feel you having a really hard time speaking up for yourself and actually speaking your needs, especially with doll. I feel like when you spoke to this person, you always had to speak to them on their terms. You had to try to use their language to get through to them. I don't feel them like compromising and understanding your internal voice. And like for some people this is more marked than others, but what I've noticed with a lot of my friends, my close female friends, when they get a boyfriend, they start to pick up his slang and his way of speaking. And I've almost never seen the reverse, where he picks up her sort of like language and her diction and her like worldview. And so what I'm getting is that feeling of that like you very much took on this person's way of speaking and expressing themselves and spoke their language to them, but they did not really reciprocate. And so communication was really difficult because I feel like if you tried to really speak your truth, they just did not hear it. So that's where this healing needs to happen for you the most. The first and fifth chakras, in terms of how you live and how you walk in the world, your sense of empowerment, where you tie up your energy, especially physically. Like I feel you and this person had like karmic and physical ties on this plane of reality. Like this is someone you like shared a bank account with or lived with and even were married to. It just feels like your energy was very, very tied up in theirs on a physical level, and that made it hard for you to separate from them, I feel like, as well. Even especially like if like you were in a situation where you were like not working, you were like a stay-at-home mom or something for some of you, or something like that, or like this person just had more control over like the actual physical situation in the household, or I'm getting really tongue-tied. I feel like a lot of stress here right now, and I feel like there's a lack of feeling of like, I feel like the struggle here for healing is being able to feel self-sufficient, like you can support yourself, like you can take care of yourself. I feel like this person, I'm getting the sense that this is about a specific person, like this feels highly relational, which makes sense because often we're hurt relationally more than anything. So I'm getting the sense that like part of your healing journey is being able to support yourself on a physical level on your own, to choose to trust yourself on this level, because I feel this person undermining your sense of your own competence or self-sufficiency, and I feel that their voice may have been more powerful than yours in this situation, and I feel them just not really hearing you or listening to you. I feel them kind of having more authority in this relationship, either on a mental level or a material level, or both. And so I feel like that is the main nexus of like where you need to heal, is in terms of your ability to feel grounded. Like it really would help you to like to go through like your budget, or to just do something in your household to like to make your own rules in your household, how you want to live, how you want to plan out your quotidian life, your shopping, your tasks, everything, to give yourself that feeling of confidence in your ability to run your own life. Because I feel like in some way, even if this person wasn't trying to do this, they somewhat undermined your ability to run your own life. Like I just get a strong sense of like a vulnerability here. And then for communication, I feel like for this is more about surrounding yourself with people who truly listen to your voice and value your voice, because I feel your voice just being very undervalued. Again, even if they were not purposefully trying to undermine your own sense of self and your own personal narrative, I feel that that's what happened, because they just were not willing to truly communicate with you. So it's like, again, you had to like act through their agency, or like somehow you were embodying their narrative instead of being able to embody your own. And so, yeah, I feel like hugely your communication has to be with trusting your own internal, your healing is tied up with trusting your own internal narrative. And you don't have to rush into this, but allowing yourself to just communicate what you truly feel and experience, and to accept the fact that some people are not going to, they're not going to resonate with that, or they're not going to agree, or they're just not going to see it the same way, but that does not invalidate what you see and what you feel. And so to kind of rebuild that relationship of trust with yourself, trusting what you see, more than anything, I get the feeling of trusting what you see. Because as you become more, as your personal empowerment begins to grow more, I feel like once you trust what you see, it's easier to just say it. But first you have to really believe your own narrative within your own mind. And I feel like that's where this situation was so disempowering, is if you did try to speak to the truth as you see it, your person would be like, what? No, I don't. Again, even if they were not like purposefully gaslighting you, I just feel like it was just the sense of like, you say yes, I say no, that kind of thing. And this person was always like trying to talk you into seeing things their way. I don't feel like they were a great communicator. I don't think they were great at compromise. I get a strongly controlling energy from them, honestly. And I see you having to become smaller to make more room for their perspective, their ego, their way of doing things. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull some tarot cards. Just looking into the last sort of, I want to just get some more messages for your healing journey. I feel like this was a very difficult, even if this wasn't like a really intensely that imbalanced or abusive situation, there is the sense that it really, even if it was something small, if it feels very personally disempowering to you, I feel like it's good for you to acknowledge that, even if it's something where someone else would say, well, that doesn't sound too crazy. If you really felt like in this situation you were at a disadvantage and like your thoughts and feelings were not respected, then I feel like it's important for you to really sit with that feeling and articulate it to yourself, because the truth, what you feel is what you feel. I know feelings aren't facts, but at the same time, we can't just be like, oh, well, that's not real, and throw our feelings in the trash can. Like, the truth is, this is how you experience reality, and you're never going to move beyond this experience if you don't really, truly articulate it to yourself, and allow yourself to articulate it to people you can trust, people who will listen to you, okay? Let's see. Healing journey, the Princess of Coins. This is all about understanding and enacting your value in the material world, with finances especially. Is I do get a feeling of you striking out on your own in some way, going in a new direction on the material plane in some way. If you are still with this person, I'm not saying break up with them, but I am saying that you could do better. I never like to like just be like, break up with him, queen, because obviously it's a general reading and I don't really have the authority to tell you what to do on that level. But if you are feeling like your sense of value and agency isn't being respected, the truth is you have a lot of value, you have a lot to offer. This Princess of Coins is like the most, why do I keep knocking the camera and not realizing it? My goodness, I'm so off today, I'm sorry. But you got Justice coming out telling me that you deserve justice, very, very obviously. This card is called Adjustment in this deck. So I do feel like there are adjustments to be made in the way that you communicate with others, especially in the way that you choose to respond to situations. Justice is underneath this doll telling you that you actually have so much power. And again, I'm just looking at this doll's little eyes. She sees everything. You see everything. You see the situation. You see it with clarity. You may not feel empowered to act in this moment, and that's okay. I'm not going to tell you when or how to act. That has to come in time when you feel secure and you feel ready. But like, the truth is, you can see the situation, and with just like Justice with her sword, you have the power to cut the situation out of your life when you are truly ready to do so. You absolutely have the power here. Okay, Yeah, I just see that there is, you may feel like you can't start over because this is just a princess, but this Princess of Coins is kind of the most powerful character in the Thoth Tarot. You can't really see it on this card, but oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of the woman who did the illustrations, but when she drew her, she wrote in like some correspondence with Aleister Crowley that like the Princess of Coins was just pregnant, like she insisted on being pregnant. This Princess of Spheres is the Earth of Earth. She is pregnant with possibility. She could create anything. She could go in any direction. All roads are open to her in the most material possible way. So no matter who you are or where you are in life, how old you are, what you've done so far, you have so many roads open to you. You have so much potential. This is almost making me cry. What the fuck? Like, I just feel like there's a lot of love out here for you and a lot of potential and a lot of power. And Justice is here to tell you that you deserve the best. Absolutely. Oh. Anything else for your healing journey? Yeah, Magician. And once again, you absolutely can make it happen. These are two very airy cards. Your mind is very powerful, and when you choose to speak the truth, the healing impact is phenomenal. Like this Magician, the sense of movement on the Magician card is very important. You can see it's like he's bursting forth, upward, outward, onward. He has so many tools around him, more than just the 4 tools of the tarot. There's like an infinite variety of suits, of ideas, of tools, of directions. You are so full of potential and purpose. It's like not even funny. And if you don't feel that, it's because you are in transformation. You are going down this road at this time. You're not going to see this while you're in it. And this is very big energy. What you may see is the slime, the ooze, the muck. What you may see is an old apple with a bite taken out of it. But the truth is, you know, the apple is full of seeds of new potential, new pathways, new possibilities. You are not a victim, that's for sure. I mean, you may have been victimized, but you are full of many, many different potentials. Many, many different pathways are open to you. There is so much love here also. I feel a lot of love for you. You're a very, here we go, a very special person. Yeah, I see that this is really, really hard for you. This card is called Valor in the Thoth Tarot. The imagery on this card is kind of disgusting and strange, and I feel like you've had to deal a lot with somebody else's ego. This is Mars and Leo. There's this energy of throwing tantrums, throwing fits. I'm feeling like, especially in terms of the material right now, what you may see is blockages. What you may see is the specter of failure kind of looming over you. What you may see is people with more than you, people who've done better or seem stronger. But the truth is, I feel like for some of you, you may just be dealing with a bullying energy in your life. For some of you, you may be bullying yourself because you feel like you should have done better, like you should have changed something. And I feel like this energy takes you out of the flow of your own power. There's a sense of not believing in yourself, which is fine. We all go through that feeling. And I feel like this is part of your transformation process. If you've been given this ugly energy from another person, if they've like made you feel little or disempowered or ugly or small, like whatever it is, it's important to acknowledge that this is their energy, and it sucks that it has been given to you, that it now has a place in your energy field, but you do have the power to move through this energy, to transmute it, but you do need to sit with it and acknowledge it and kind of untangle it, unspool it, unpick it. And that's a very difficult task to be given. That is also why you're showing up as Justice and the Magician here, because you are capable of doing this. And these are like big energy cards. If you feel you need to draw on strength from your higher self or your ancestors or your guides, however you identify the spiritual forces out there, this energy is here for you. This energy is backing you. Like the universe is backing you. I'm gonna fucking start crying again. The universe is backing you hella hard is what I want to say. You are very, very supported. And I feel like, yeah, it's hard to feel that sometimes. It's hard to acknowledge that. I kind of see you being like this little figure in white sometimes, keeping your eyes on the ground, watching your own toes as you walk around. But the truth is, like, you are blessed with a lot of potential, and your story is absolutely not over. I don't know who came to this reading today. This seems like incredibly dramatic. I don't know. I didn't ask for this dramatic energy. I thought we were going to do something a lot more low-key. But, I mean, the truth is there is a part of you that really needs this healing in a really big way. And it might not be a part that you identify with. You might not want to identify with this energy because nobody really likes to feel like this. You might not want to acknowledge that energy. And that is why it's shadow work. That's why this energy is in your shadow, because it doesn't feel acceptable for you to be in this disempowered mode, or it feels like you should be over this by now. But the truth is, it's something you still appear to be very much in process in, and you're doing well. Like you absolutely have the capability to move through this energy. It's just, it's very hard. I see work, the Nine of Wands, work flashing. It is a lot of work. The last two cards that came out are the Wheel and the Four of Coins. So I like that. Somewhere there's a place for us. A time and place for us. That's what I think of. Yeah, the Wheel is here to, just to say that there are more opportunities out here in the world for you. They are, and then this is a safe place. What is this called? Temenos in Latin. This shape is called a temenos. It's like a safe place. It's just the four elements. Everything is sort of held, cared for, where it needs to be. I see that there's a community for you, or a partnership out here for you that is loving, that is nourishing, that is safe, that is respectful, that is abundant. But like, first we need to get through this transformation. I feel like once we get through this transformation energy and really focus on this energy, bring it to the surface, allow all those bad feelings to bubble up. This is the kind of thing that could manifest in the form of remembering an old relationship and suddenly feeling really angry and hurt when we didn't feel that angry before, but remembering how that situation really hurt us or was really unfair to us, and just acknowledging that anger, that sadness, and just letting that feeling bubble up, allowing yourself to get to that point where you can really acknowledge how much that situation was messed up or really hurt you. This could be in the sense of just like suddenly having a lot of bad dreams about something and noticing that there's a certain theme there, like all your dreams seem to have to do with your father, like they all have to do with like a certain fear cropping up over and over again. But it's like allowing yourself to move through this wasteland, knowing that on the other side there are beautiful, fresh, exciting, abundant opportunities for you. And that you can really, especially with finances, you have the potential to build a secure, strong, steady relationship with a person who feels like a genuine counterpart, or in a place that feels right for you, or with a community that is really welcoming and accepting of who you are. That's the kind of overall message that I get. Like, there is a lot of security and love and potential for growth out here for you. Right now, unfortunately, we're moving through the Seven of Cups energy of shame, disempowerment, strong feelings of failure or disappointment in oneself. Which is too bad, because you actually have a really beautiful energy, and I feel a lot of love for you here. But I just feel like it's important to feel these feelings, because it's like, that's how we exercise the demons. We have to turn and face them. We can't just like put them behind us all the time and pretend we don't feel them breathing down our neck. You know what I mean? Like, part of the transformation is you know, it's like going into the underworld to retrieve something lost and very precious. It's a very difficult journey, but I feel like the healing potential that's here is very great, and I feel like it will make you a greater version of yourself, and it's what you deserve. It's what you're kind of owed. It's almost like a feeling of you owe this to yourself, and there's really no rush in terms of this healing work. It's really just a lot of temperance is kind of the feeling that I get more than anything. Adjustment may imply that it's really about just taking a good, long, hard look at it and articulating this to yourself, really admitting things to yourself. Really taking, a long, hard look. Was that fair? Was that right? Should that have happened? And just like examining all the different sides of the situation and truly understanding it, so we can actually feel what we need to feel and release it. That's what we're just trying to release it so we can free up our energy to build something new and better. And that is the reading that I have for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for bringing your energy. I wish you a lot of light and love and hope and healing because you very much deserve it. Goodbye. Hi and welcome if you chose the Mentor card. I really love the imagery on this card so much. So we're looking into what part of you needs healing. I definitely kind of get the feeling of letting go as this just my cold read with the Mentor card, especially because of the inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master kind of feeling. There's a sense of having a hard time with the transition at the very least. If not letting a person go, then letting go of a situation or a possibility. Let me move this. But let's see what the cards say. So what does group 2 need to acknowledge and heal? Oof. Those are a lot of cards. I'm gonna ask my pendulum if we want all of them. Show me yes. Okay. Yes. Those two definitely. And you? Okay, they all belong here. Alright, just thought I'd check because they all came out together. So we have the one mind is rootless and foundationless. And then of course, someone is laughing at you. Wait in the reverse. And this may not be a perfect circle, but it is perfect. It is a perfect whatever it is. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely an energy about transitioning, and now is the time to transition. What I feel like is that you've been putting off this transition, whatever it is. I feel a lot of thoughts around this situation. All these cards are predominantly text heavy, and to be fair, there are a lot of text heavy cards in this deck, but you've got very few ones with images. So I feel like this is something you've been putting a lot of thought into, almost to the point of it being a little bit ridiculous. And there's also this feeling of like wanting to wait until the situation is perfect, the time is exactly right, everything is the way it needs to be, but like there's a sense that the time is really never going to be right. There's nothing to wait for. Your mind will go around and around in circles over and over again, but the truth is it's just time to act in this situation. There is a fear of not doing it right. With Mentor, you could be a person who is very experienced or has a lot of knowledge about a certain situation, or you're well established in a certain part of your life, and you're looking into kind of transitioning into something different or doing something differently, a new direction maybe. And I feel like you're afraid of maybe starting over or going off in a different direction. I see you wanting to make the right choice and do things the right way, but it kind of just feels like there's something you're not necessarily going to be taking, you're not necessarily going to be able to take with you. You could kind of be like the person in more of the student energy who's moving away from a safe situation, and you're moving towards something that may possibly be not what you expected, and may be imperfect. It may be that you want to move toward a circle, but you're going to get a weird little spiral instead. Of a spiral. Yeah, I feel like you're being called toward new life experience, but you're kind of resisting that and wanting to hold on to an expectation or a situation. This could have to do with moving, changing careers. Maybe you thought you were going to end up dating someone, but it seems like actually your energy is being called elsewhere. Whatever it is, it feels like a very sudden shift. Like you were putting energy pretty methodically into one thing, and now it just feels like you're not sure. You're not sure about that thing anymore. I definitely feel like part of your healing is accepting the infinite goof of it all, the silliness, the imperfection, the unpredictability, and to kind of like let go of your ego being attached to things being perfect, and to be a little bit silly, to be a little, take risks, to not be so logical. That's the kind of energy that I get with you. Let's get some more oracle cards. So this person's healing journey. Your energy certainly is not as heavy as the last group, I will say that. But I did kind of expect that because victim can be a very heavy energy. Let's see. So the healing journey of group 2. Can you give us some tools for what they take with them? This is, yeah, I'm just having a hard time shuffling because I'm almost feeling like I'm feeling like this mind spiral energy. House, you could be moving home. What are they taking with them? You kind of are your home though. I'm feeling like a turtle, like wherever you go, you are home. You just don't necessarily realize it. You can make a home anywhere. House is just a house. Boar, my god. Okay, that's quite interesting. What the fuck? I'm gonna need a second to think about that one. I kind of get a sense of ambition with boar in a weird way, because boars are such the way they devour things, the way they kind of go after what they want ruthlessly. I feel that you really want this to be perfect, and it feels very emotionally activating, the idea of not being successful, the idea of people laughing at you or judging you. Oh, transformation. Again, I guess this is a healing reading. So there's a sense of needing to transform expectations, to allow oneself to be vulnerable, to possibly be laughed at. It's kind of like that energy of needing to try something new, even though you may not immediately be good at it. Yeah, I do get that feeling of like, if you're not immediately good at something, you kind of just want to quit. But there's a sense that like you're kind of being asked to branch out in new directions, do things that you haven't done before, and kind of accept that it may not be perfect. You may have to leave your comfort zone a little bit. You may have to explore a little bit farther than you normally do. I feel like there's a lot in life for you to potentially experience. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of things you can kind of feast on, but you need to like leave your home and kind of allow life to transform you a little bit, to change you, to let your ego get broken down a little bit, put yourself in positions where you're more vulnerable, to not let your thoughts or your mind stop you from going out into the world and have real physical experiences. Those experiences are not going to be as perfect as what you can envision in your mind, but they will be real. And that is a major, I would say that's an upside of that energy. Yeah, I just feel like this may feel like a really awkward transition for you, especially if you've been in your house for the past year, if you've been quarantining or something, if you're watching this at time of filming, or if you've just been kind of playing it safe or really investing in something very stable and mature, you're kind of being asked to be a little bit goofy and silly and immature and just go out and like forage in the world, find new experiences in unexpected places. That boar card really surprised me when it came out. I did not know what to make of it. It's dangerous, you know? Put yourself in a dangerous situation. Go and hunt a new experience, because I feel like that new fresh energy is very healing for you. I feel like you've been protected, or you've been playing it safe, or you've been just used to doing things a certain way. Like you have a certain path, especially like mentally, how you configure your energy. You have a certain way of doing things, and you're kind of being asked to really shake it up. So let me see where this sort of healing and transformational potential is taking place in your energy field. Cool, so we have psychic abilities coming out. Maybe we should get one more. I feel like this is about getting out of your 5th chakra and raising that energy higher, taking it to a higher resonance with transformation, cracking this egg and seeing what oozes out of it. I feel like you actually have the potential to be very intuitive, but your logical, rational mind sometimes holds you back from just following your intuition. I feel your intuition can sometimes be a little bit threatening with this dark ooze. Your unconscious mind may be trying to reach out to you in the form of dreams, random feelings, or impulses, and you're just like, oh, I don't recognize that. What is that? Like, that's not mine. That doesn't feel like it came from me. That feels weird, or why would I think that, or why would I dream that? It's kind of like it's a part of you. It's not a part of you on a conscious level, but on an unconscious level, that's a big part of your energy field, and it's trying to crack through for a reason. So you can follow your instincts, especially your psychic instincts, your intuitive instincts, and move forward toward. This feels like not typical healing. It feels more like expansion. I've been shuffling these forever, haven't I? I forgot I was even shuffling these. Can you give me one more card? Where is this expansion happening? Okay, self-esteem. Yeah, I'm saying that this is really good for your, I guess you don't need to focus in, it's just a color, huh? But yeah, I see this as being really good for your confidence, your ability to go after things, your strength, your personal power in the world. I feel like within your own mind, your mind is like a fortress almost. And I feel like within your own mind, you're very strong, you're very accomplished, but your mind is keeping you from going out into the world and just experiencing the messy physical joy of being an incarnated being. Your mind is like an egg, and it would be nice to crack through it and kind of discover these other feelings, these other parts of yourself. Yeah, because I feel like you've been in a holding pattern, you've been a little bit stuck. You are definitely a very, like, intelligent, logical person, is a feeling that I get. But it's like, this circle is making me think of a mandala. You need to live out all the different parts of who you are. It's not that, like, some of this internalized energy is wounded per se, but if you have a certain part of your psyche that never ever gets to be expressed or explored, it's like that. It's like, think of that part of your psyche as being a person and they've been locked in the basement. Even if when they were originally locked down there, they were perfectly healthy and normal, if you keep them locked down there for years and years and years, they're going to start to behave in erratic ways. They're going to be resentful. They're going to be angry. They're going to be a little bit wild. They're gonna go feral. And that's kind of the feeling of, like, when you don't live out parts of yourself, eventually they burst out in these really erratic, violent ways, either through these experiences where suddenly you'll feel something and you'll be like, why am I feeling this? This is so intense, this is so wild, this is not me. Or you'll have these, like, really, like, tower moments where suddenly, like, everything breaks apart, and it's this, like, and I'm not saying this to scare you or threaten you in any way. I'm not saying something terrible is going to happen. This is just, like, in terms of how I view consciousness, I'm very influenced by, like, Jungian, whatever, thought and philosophies or whatever, however you want to put it. So there's this feeling that, like, what could have been once docile little piglet, if you release it into the wild of your unconscious mind, it's going to become a boar, and it's the desire for experience, for being in the light, for exploration, for expansion is just going to get stronger and stronger. And it's like, I feel like you're really wanting to do things the right way if someone is laughing at you. But the truth is, it's not about, it's more about doing things, period. It's about letting yourself really experience all that life has to offer. You deserve that. And it's very expansive with psychic abilities, and it's also really good for your sense of personal power to take risks. Just to, like, even if it doesn't turn out perfectly, there's a sense of feeling good because you took that risk, you tried it, and that was like, now you know what that's like. Even if it didn't go exactly perfectly, with the mentor, I feel us wanting to do everything well, wanting to do things within a certain framework and to be successful. But the truth is, part of success is also just allowing yourself to take risks and gain experience, and that's what's going to make you a more knowledgeable person ultimately, and it puts you more in tune with your higher nature, your higher chakras. So that's very important. Do we have any last messages for healing and expansion and transformation? Oh boy, can I have a succinct number of messages? Nothing. Don't give me half the deck. Oh my god, these cards are not usually this chatty. I feel like there is a strong unlived part of your psyche. And if you don't feel that way, that might be something to explore, to look into things that you are interested in trying or new directions you're interested in going in. Because I feel like there's something there. The Ace of Swords, yeah, be honest with yourself. Really take a good long look at yourself. Examine what it is that you want. I feel like you are a mental person. There's a lot of mental energy, and there is a danger of if you keep this mental energy inside of you, it just becomes like it just gets all cluttered. It's like clutter inside of your mind. You have a lot of mental energy. You need to expend it via action. No, this, like, the finished product is not going to align with your vision, but that's part of, like, the process of learning to manifest things into our life, to understand that we have this vision that we align with, but the physical reality is always going to somewhat be a little bit different, and that's fine. What I'm feeling is that with transformation and this snag, is that there may be a strong sense of burnout, or just that your self-esteem, your personal power is not like at an all-time high at this time. But like this snag, okay, so it's apparently a dead tree, but as you can see, there's a silhouette inside, and snags within nature basically become homes. They become an ecosystem unto themselves, where other plants and little creatures live inside of them. So what may feel like a sense of burnout or failure is actually just the starting point for a new endeavor, for new energy, for new experiences. With transformation, there's a sense of taking old failures and repurposing them, rebuilding, regrowing out of whatever in the past felt like you couldn't properly align with or manifest. I knew this was gonna come out. Okay, I knew this. Yes, you got boar and the beast of discs, which is a damn pig. A boar. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get into it, but I did feel that when I was interpreting this card, I was literally thinking of the beast of discs. It's all about physical experiences, exploring, feeling. Life feeds on life. You are a living creature. You need to go out into the world and feast yourself on life. Have experiences. Feel good. Be in your body. Explore and appreciate your body. Eat food that feels good. Be with people who make you laugh, like from your belly. Like, you know what I mean? Go places where there's beautiful flowers and trees and water. The Seven of Discs, travel. I feel like you've been holding yourself back from exploring. You've been staying home, and obviously there may be real, actual, physical, real world blockages, but the truth is, I feel like there is still travel available to us, even if we can't book a flight to Maui or something at this time, even if we can't take a whole week off of work. There are little ways that you can travel and explore in your world, and you need to find them. That's part of your healing journey. I'm getting like so excited and amped up, but like, we start in this really mental place, the Ace of Swords, and then we end up with this Beast of Discs. We end up in this really physical place, and that is your healing journey. Your healing journey is just whatever like physical limitations you experience, there are still ways for you to explore and live life. And I just feel your belly is really important. That's so weird, but like there's a reason I thought of food and laughing from your stomach. It's all about the third chakra. When you go out in the world and let yourself be happy and have fun, there is this sense of internal glow happening here. It's that Leo energy. When a Leo is having fun and they're happy, you can always tell they got this like little glow about them. It's that fiery energy in your gut where like when you really are like feeding this part of your energy field, you just have this beautiful, warm energy that is so attractive. And I feel like you have been really burnt out, and the way to kind of like reinvigorate that is to kind of just let yourself have experiences without the sort of intention of it needing to be perfect, successful. It's like moving forward in a new direction to really just really explore, really feel it, really suck the marrow out of life. That's kind of the feeling that I get. I feel like you have a playbook and that needs to go. You need to follow your gut instinct. You need to follow what your body tells you. Like, I feel like part of your healing is starting to cultivate that ability to really understand when your body's trying to tell you something. When you feel tired, sleep. When you're like, this happened to me the other day. I was like getting ready to make breakfast, and I just kind of thought to myself for no reason, I haven't had eggs in a really long time. And then I started to make myself yogurt with berries, and I was like, wait, why did I just think about eating eggs? And I realized it's because my body was trying to tell me, like, I need some protein, I need some eggs, like this would make me feel good, a nice warm egg with like avocado and salt and, red pepper flakes, like feed me this. And you have to be intuitive enough to really understand when when those feelings filter through, sometimes they have to be filtered through your mind, and so I feel like it can be hard to hear them because it's like you have a stream of thoughts and you have this one little intuitive message that's kind of floating in this huge big stream full of a million thoughts. So you have to really be able to see that like quicksilver flash of like, oh, this is an intuitive message. This is coming from my higher energy field. This is coming from my body. This is not coming from my mind. This is something a little bit different. And I feel like that's what's kind of being asked to happen here for your, again, this isn't healing in the most typical sense, but I feel like this is healing a sense of burnout, a sense of internal chaos and confusion by just grounding into the physical present. And it's not even about being grounded in like a base chakra kind of way. It's about being grounded in a sense of your own purpose and confidence, your ability to have fun, your ability to explore, your ability to really, again, suck the marrow out of life, your ability to travel without necessarily traveling, to discover what's right around the corner, right outside your front door, and to kind of look at your real options. Like, I don't see you having to go far to find options for fun and laughs and joy. I feel like it's in your world. You have to follow your instincts, though. You got to follow your nose, is the feeling, and have confidence in the choices you make. Like, you have strong instincts. I don't think you really realize that. I feel like you've identified with your mental energy, but the fact that we have the 6th and 3rd chakra, I feel like for me personally, these are the most instinctual chakras. I feel like the 7th one is more like downloads from your higher self or something, whereas these ones are kind of like, for me, when I really want to focus on being confident in my intuitive choices, these are the areas of my physical body that I think about. I think about, you know, going cross-eyed to kind of activate my third eye, or I think about doing something that involves my my midsection in order to activate that part of my energy field. So that could be something that would be helpful for you. Sometimes stimulating the physical body can help stimulate the energetic body because it's all aligned, of course. It's all together. It all works as one. So I feel like really focusing on your instincts and being able to listen to your instincts to move toward things that will actually bring you fulfillment is kind of the mood, the move, the message. That's your reading. I think I'm done. That was like, I hope that was understandable. I know I started talking really fast. I got really excited. I do love this energy. I'm like, this is good shit. This is nice. Like I said, group 1 was like really heavy and sad, so I wasn't expecting something this like fast moving and like blah, 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 blah. But yeah, your reading's like a full 10 minutes shorter. But yeah, that is the reading that I have for you. I hope it was helpful or interesting, or, you know, just a bit of silliness, whatever. Enjoy the rest of your night or day or whatever. Bye-bye. Hey y'all, welcome if you chose dilettante, my personal favorite word. I'm really interested to see what your reading is going to be like in terms of what you need to heal, because the other group's mentor is pretty much seen as a positive word, victim is pretty much seen as a negative word, but dilettante is a mix. It's a little bit of both. So I'm curious to see what your energy is going to be like. Obviously, I get a sense of lightness, just cold reading that card. Almost like a sense of selling yourself short. It's definitely an airy energy. It does make me think of Libra and Gemini more than anything, keeping it kind of light, even though actually you have the potential to go pretty deep. That's kind of what I get from dilettante. But let's see. Group 3. What do they need to heal? What part of them needs to heal? Can you tell us anything? Do it now. That's cool. Chasing that sunrise, sunset, whatever it is. Probably a sunrise, right? You are experiencing an illegitimate feeling. Okay. Thinking yourself out of going where you need to go. What are you feeling now? No. Interesting. Yeah, so I definitely feel like overthinking hugely. Yeah, a lot of navel gazing. Also, especially if you watch a lot of tarot videos, I can kind of see you being the kind of person who like will listen to 1,000,001 different messages and get really confused and lose a sense of a sense of what you are actually feeling, what's actually resonating within you. I feel like sometimes we allow ourselves to be programmed, and take this with a grain of salt if it doesn't resonate. Speaking of resonating, if it doesn't resonate, don't worry. This is a shadow work reading, so we are going to get some messages like that. But there is kind of a sense, especially with this being a screen, of things being projected, or of allowing other people or situations to project onto us. I get the feeling of like sometimes you lose contact with your own internal voice, and so there's just a sense of confusion where you could think yourself around and around in circles. Like you could feel one way on this subject today and then the next day have a completely different opinion. It is definitely like an air sign vibe. And I feel like, yeah, especially like with this tarot imagery, I feel like sometimes you may, this is if you are a big tarot watcher, sometimes if you watch a lot of different videos from a lot of different content creators, I can see many different messages kind of getting muddled in your head and keeping you from really being present within your own energy field and understanding what truly resonates for you. Especially because if you are someone with many different facets to who you are, you can have so many different selves that many different types of messages and readings could really resonate. So I can see the sense of internal confusion that keeps you from taking action, because I feel like you have a lot of potential in terms of what you can do in this world, where you can go. There's this wide open horizon, and you really have the capability to go there, but it does feel like your thoughts and feelings get very, very muddled. And this lack of clarity or lack of purpose is keeping you from experiencing all the things you could experience. I mean, with dilettante, I mean, it is really hard to pick a direction, especially if you are a really creative person. This person is gardening, painting, cooking, and then what is this last one? Oh, reading a book. Yeah, so you could be someone who does have a lot of different potentials in terms of which way you can go, but you're not really sure which one deeply resonates within you. Of course, the irony of the idea of an illegitimate feeling is there really are no such thing as illegitimate feelings. We just kind of create the idea that certain feelings are acceptable to us and certain feelings are not. I feel like you could have a fear of like actually doing the work to truly examine yourself. Like sometimes we come up with a lot of labels and ideas of like, oh, this is, you know, this is I have this problem and this problem and this problem and this triggers me and this experience is this and that. And at the end of the day, it's good to have that knowledge about yourself, but that all that self-awareness goes nowhere if we aren't really sitting with our feelings and doing the deeper work. And the dilettante can tend to flit from situation to situation without actually taking a moment to truly sit with those feelings and do the kind of the quiet inner work. Like you may have a very buzzy, mental, active energy when you need to kind of cultivate a yin space to truly actually feel and process what you feel, so you can kind of get in touch with your high priestess energy. And then once you do that, I feel like the way is very, very clear, but you kind of need to align all your different selves, which can take time. I totally get that. So as far as this healing energy goes, yeah, it's important to know what you're chasing too, because I feel like you can be a very active and capable and talented person, but if you don't have a sense of clarity, a sense of vision or direction, it's your potential is sort of being dissipated. It's like the energy is going a bunch of different ways. And if you focused it all in one direction, you'd be incredibly powerful. Okay, this one. Cat in the reverse. I see you having zoomies, like a cat. You know how cats get the zoomies and they just run around, those randomly run around your house, running up the walls, being ridiculous, especially little kitties. I kind of get that. There's a youthful energy to you, which definitely makes me think of Gemini again. There's just like, yeah, I think you just need time to kind of sort yourself out a little bit is the vibe. And I have another card. Thanks, that was really fast. Oh, white dress. I feel like with white dress, the kind of feeling that I get is a need for more experience, because we do associate the white dress with like purity, virginity, obviously your wedding, maidenly kind of is the vibe. So I feel like there's just like a lack of life experience here, and it makes it hard to sort out these feelings. It makes it, yeah, the feelings are such a blockage here, but I just feel like there's a sense of being overwhelmed and not really knowing what we like or what we want because we need more experience. We can't like go in a direction, we can't follow our instincts with cat. Cat always makes me think of instincts because they're hunters. And when they really focus in on something, they like really stalk it. And I feel like you're not quite ready to do that because you need some more experience. That's kind of the thing. You just need some more, you need to sort yourself out. Again, that's such useless advice. I'm so sorry. Let me think, can I be more helpful? I feel like the more time you spend within your own space and in your own mind, really sorting out your feelings and clarifying, if it helps to think about what you don't want rather than what you do want, whatever it takes to help you clarify, because I get such a sense of muddling from these two. And it's very important to me that this shows tarot cards and this shows a movie screen. There's this sense that like you're getting information about yourself from outside sources when truly everything you need to know is already within your own mind, within your own heart, more importantly. I should ask what area of your energy field really needs the healing right now. But yeah, I just feel like there's this sense that like you're not necessarily going to get the information from outside sources, which you may be consciously or unconsciously looking to outside sources for that. And not that you can't watch tarot videos or you can't learn from other people. I feel like your experiences are wonderful teachers, but there is the sense of like allowing external narratives to dictate your own feelings or your own idea of what you want or need. Especially movies. Like we all grow up watching movies and kind of being programmed to expect certain things about love and relationships, and I do feel like there are some maybe standards or ideas that you've internalized that aren't actually in keeping with your personal reality, personal power. Interesting. Yeah, this is all about knowing yourself, having a strong sense of self. That's kind of just where we're at. That's what the cat certainly has. The cat has a lot of personal power, and I see this as a potential for you. I think, especially if you're considering like what career you want to do, what school you want to go to, if you're considering coming up with a new craft, practice, or hobby, I feel like you are being strongly encouraged to pursue that, to allow yourself to create things in your own life through your own means, with your own hands, instead of looking to external sources for guidance or validation. I feel like you definitely have the capability to go your own way. You have the power, the potential, the strength. And yeah, I just feel like it's just a question of allowing yourself to tap into your instincts. That's definitely what the third chakra gives me, because I feel like when we are in our own personal power, if something resonates with us, we just feel empowered to move toward it, because we just look at it and we're like, that's a bit of me, you know? Like there's no need to like check in with a tarot reader or our best friend or what we expected for ourselves at the age of 7, because we recognize that while those sources are helpful for confirmation, we really just don't need them when it comes to actually making this decision if it truly resonates within our gut, on a gut level. Like there's no need to think about it, discuss it, ask for confirmation. If it feels right, move toward it like a kitty cat. Do it now. Move toward it on the gold of the sun. I feel like whatever makes you feel golden, that is for you. That's where this healing needs to happen. And I just feel like this white dress is telling me that you still have time for many new experiences and many new places to explore, many new things to do. If you're worried about running out of time to do all the things you want to do, I feel like you're being asked to focus on whatever makes you feel the most excited and passionate, the one you're most instinctively drawn toward, and to let the rest fall away for a little while. I don't think they're going to be gone forever. You will always be able to return to these different ideas. You're not going to be able to live out every single part of you in one lifetime, but I feel like you know, there's this danger of jack of all trades, master of none, and I say that very lightly, but just there's this sense to just allow yourself to move, like let the current take you, really let the current take you toward what you're really passionately drawn toward. Yeah, consummate this. With white dress, I'm feeling like you have all these different ideas, curiosities, passions, choices, but you haven't consummated it fully. This definitely feels like a life path thing, not so much about a person. It feels about your life path. Just, there's no wrong answer. Whatever path you go on is the path you're meant to go on, because like it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And when you do it from a place of personal power, from a place of accepting, this is my path, this is what I'm going to explore, this is what I'm drawn toward instinctively, then that experience, no matter how it turns out, is always going to serve your personal growth and your sense of strength within yourself. So that's kind of the energy that I get. This isn't like you're necessarily healing a wound. It's more like you're just learning to take your energy, gather it up, and really use it for your greatest possible good and potential. And that's kind of what your guides want for you right now. They're telling you there isn't really a wrong answer. And that also, you know the answer. You don't need to be told. You actually do deep down know the answer. When you really truly sit with yourself and actually slow down and take a look at all of your options, your eyes are going to narrow. You're going to narrow in on one thing, and it's just going to feel right. And you're being asked to really trust that feeling. Trust that feeling. You are going to go in the right direction. Now is the time for you to take steps toward this passion, this interest. Let's get any Ace of Swords. Oh boy. Your reading is quite similar to group 2 in certain ways, but there are differences. All this energy came out really fast. Ooh, there's a lot you want to do. Okay. So yeah. I have a sense that your intellectual energy here is very potent. Your mental energy is very potent, and so yeah, just picking one ace to kind of invest in, to learn all you can about it. This might be about going to school, but yeah, something to move toward, to learn. The Emperor reversed is telling me that you do need to learn, that you do need to practice. That the sense of the Emperor and the Cat both being reversed is telling me that your sense of personal power is not going to immediately blossom, I guess is the word. That there is going to be, this definitely is giving me a sense of study more than anything. To pick one possibility and study it and really learn about it and allow yourself to be a novice, a beginner. Enjoy that feeling. So we have the I feel like this is like very, very challenging to you, and I feel like this challenge is not really coming so much from the outside world. Like, I don't see this in terms of external blockages, but I'm just seeing that there's a lot of doubt and insecurity, and I feel like it's very hard for you to narrow this choice down. I feel like there's this sense of all these possibilities pressing down on you and weighing you down, and like, these should be 4 wonderful aces, like just 4 beautiful directions for you to move in. You get to choose which one to move in, and instead you're seeing this as like this oppressive force, like you just don't know how to move forward. You see, I'm thinking of the Sylvia Plath quote where she talks about how she sees herself sitting at the bottom of, like, I don't know, a fig tree or something, and there's all these beautiful, ripe, delicious figs, but she's just sitting in the tree paralyzed, not knowing which one to pick because they all look so delicious and good. And as she's sitting there thinking and ruminating and agonizing over which fig to choose, they all rot and like fall to the ground and drop in her lap. And that is like not, I'm not saying that that's what this is. What I'm saying is I feel like that's how you're experiencing it. Is that like you're feeling a lot of stress over this situation, but truly, when you really check in with your instincts, there is a way forward for you. And I feel like you kind of have to like choose a path and then let go of control and just explore it. Just explore it. Actually go with your instincts. You're not going to be immediately successful. What I'm seeing is that you're going to move forward slowly, steadily, methodically. I feel like you will feel challenged. You will feel doubt. You will feel anxiety. Especially if your progress is slow, especially if you are like have a very fast intense mental energy that, like, when people are very, very mental, when they have a strong, like, airy resonance, the airy energy can be so buzzy and quick moving that it can be very frustrating to move through the world in a slow, methodical, patient way, because your mental energy is so much quicker than your physical energy, and that can be a very strong blockage. But I do say that if you have patience, and if you kind of are patient with yourself when you feel these feelings of doubt, wondering if you picked the right path, I'm just seeing like a million possibilities, and it's like getting caught in this hall of mirrors where you look this way and you look that way, and you can look in a million directions in every way, but at the end of the day, you're just looking at yourself. Like, it's just self-reflexive. It's not being a part of the world. It's not going to lead you to achieve anything. It's just you're just gonna be stuck in a little room staring in the mirror, because those possibilities are just possibilities, and I feel like in terms of your healing, it's time to act, it's time to move and grow. Be patient with yourself as we take these slow and steady steps, because ultimately I feel like it's going to take you to a place where you feel so proud and accomplished, like you've really built something. And I'm saying this is more of, again, a creative or career kind of opportunity, but it feels like your baby, even though this isn't romantic. Even though this isn't romantic or relational, you just feel so accomplished. You feel like you've nurtured this opportunity. You were so patient with it. You built it, you grew with it, and it just feels like your baby. It's so nice. And I feel like it's going to be really hard for you to let go of control with this Emperor, because sometimes a way of having personal power is to stay in situations that are actually very small and limiting, but at least we're in control of them. But for you, this personal power is more about relinquishing control and just letting yourself slowly learn and grow and move. And yeah, find your new possibilities. And it's interesting, every group got a court card from the coin suit, because this isn't just about like healing on an internal level. This is healing that shows in the way we move through the world. This is the type of healing that changes our trajectory in terms of what we can achieve, what we can grow, what we can bring into the physical in our life. And so I'm saying that you're being called to be very patient and very slow and steady, but at the same time to allow your vision for what you can create to lead you to take action, to take a risk. I mean, not all boats made it safely through the water. It was always a risk every time you would set sail on a boat. But the truth is, when you're passionate enough, you have the motivation to go on this adventure, to let go of control, to take the risk, to let go of the other options, because ultimately we feel better when we have the idea of options. I feel like our culture, especially Western culture, like really emphasizes the power of choice and how amazing choice is. And like, yeah, obviously choice is great, but at the same time, sometimes choice is very oppressive. It weighs us down. And no, I'm not saying that like we should eliminate choice, but I feel like in this case, choice is not your friend. It's muddling your feelings. You're projecting yourself into too many different possibilities, too many different directions. You need to pick your direction and then take slow and steady steps with it. Be very patient with yourself as you move through this. It's going to be boring, frustrating, stressful, all of those things, all of those earthy feelings that we don't like to feel. But ultimately, I just see you coming out on the other side so proud and so accomplished. And if you just contrast these two feelings, this person has 1,000,001 different things that she's holding. And yes, they're cool and exciting and beautiful, but there's just like so much love and satisfaction and this feeling of pride, of accomplishment. And that just feels very healing for you, to actually have accomplished something in the world instead of being like scattered to the four winds and being full of potentials. It's beautiful to feel like you're full of potential, but the truth is, it's time to nurture one of those potentials and take it from an idea, an area of study, or an opportunity,
into a beautiful, grounded physical reality. That's kind of what's being offered to you. And another way you can interpret this is that if you are thinking of doing something with another person, that there is someone out here who's willing to collaborate with you. That wouldn't be for everyone, but for some people, the way these cards are facing each other, there is an opportunity that someone wants to help you do this work. Someone wants to help invest with you, and so you don't have to do this alone. If this is more of a business thing or a situation of, this could be about wanting to start a business, not even just get a career, but like start a business of your own, buy property, that kind of thing. For some of you, this represents a collaborational energy. For some of you, this represents doing the whole slow slog before you get to enjoy the beautiful benefits as the Queen of Coins. It'll be different. But either way, I'm feeling that like this is healing in the sense it's like it feels like you've proven to yourself that you can have this beautiful idea, this beautiful potential, and then you can actually carry it through. And I feel like that will be so good for your personal power, your self-esteem, just the way you move in the world. And that's the reading that I have for you. I hope that was resonant or interesting or entertaining, helpful in some way. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye-bye.